Hey guys, Coco here, and I'm back with another skate chat video. What should I call this? Yoga chat video? Anywho, it is pretty much just like a friendly introduction to yoga, how to start, and like what type of yoga is best for you, especially at the beginning. I wish I had something as simplistic as this video, which is why I go about it in a playful manner and not so serious, because I really was overwhelmed when it came to starting yoga because there's such a stigma around it. I'm from Los Angeles, California, born and raised, and that's where I started yoga, and it was just really intimidating. And I just didn't really know where to start. And it didn't seem like a lot of other people around me knew either. So I took to the internet and, I didn't really find what I was looking for. And I just didn't understand what I was looking for. So before the yoga police, because yes, you guys are out there, start to critique this video, which you're more than welcome to. Please do so in the comments. It's just a fun video to easily break down my thoughts when it comes to choosing a yoga practice, what is behind the scenes going on in that yoga practice. Of course, my experiences can be biased because this is just what I experienced, but nonetheless, you can still use this information to figure out if it's something for you or not, period. And that's why I wanted to make a more light-hearted video talking about yoga, as I find it to be very egotistical when it comes to westernized practitioners. I didn't go into detail, but I did do my yoga teacher training in India. I spent a good amount of time there, and it changed my perspective completely on what it meant to be a yogi and to practice yoga. Yeah, it just really changed my world for the better. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be transparent. I did, firstly, or I should say my motivation in the first place to go to India, for one, I wanted to give back to the Indian people because they are the people who created yoga. I really wanted to do that, versus paying all that money at my Western American white-owned school. I didn't want to do that, where nobody on the pathway was of Indian origin, and I just preferred to go to where it was created. So that was my first motivation. And then when I looked into that option, it was so much more affordable, which was another motivation for me to go. And yeah, I guess I could make a whole other video on that. Anyways, let me shut up and get into this video. I hope you enjoy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Alright, so you might have Googled on the internet before how to start yoga, what is yoga, or beginner yoga, and then you discover like, oh my god, how many different type of yoga practices are there? What is Vinyassa flow? What's Vinyassa? Hatha flow? What's Hatha yoga? I used to be, you guys, 100%, 100%. And I'm going to break down, briefly break down like different types of yoga. I'm going to break down the different types of yoga. I'm going to tell you what I went to school for, like what technically my background training is. And at the end of this little segment, I'm going to tell you what I like to practice and what I like to teach, and like what my practice is. So that you have an understanding of kind of like where you would like to go down which path of all these freaking choices of yoga practices. So one of the, I don't want to say it's the best, but one of my, there you go, one of my favorite practices of yoga is the Hatha style. And I really find that it's like the most popular beginner-friendly style of yoga, but I just really like it because it has a lot of the basic elements of like building a good yoga practice, and also too, it teaches you a lot of moving positions with your breath, a lot of mindfulness, and it's a little hippy dippy, I'm not gonna lie. So if you don't like and oming and like being within yourself and feeling the elements, you might not like this class. And depending on the hippy dippiness level of your yoga instructor, maybe you could get like a more Western style class teacher that it's more, you know, I don't know, mainstream, or maybe you have a really hippie person teacher and it's just like on some other level and you might get turned off. So definitely, if you do go to one of these classes as a beginner, don't give up if you didn't really like it. If you're like a non-hippy dippy person, let me just say this, not in a negative connotation, but let's just call like hippie person is like me and like regular people is everybody else. And obviously being me is better than being regular. So if you're hippy dippy like me, cool. But if you're regular, that's also cool. You know, there's nothing wrong with being regular. Anywho, okay. So we're just gonna move on because there's a lot of information, but this stuff is Googleable. But I still want to give you like a clear, honest answer on what the fuck's going on because there's a lot of options. Okay, you're gonna move the fuck on. Vinyassa. So Vinyasa is still kind of like a beginner thing, and Vinyasa actually means like flowing. So personally, this is my favorite form of yoga, and you'll see a lot of classes that say Vinyasa flow. It could be challenging because you're moving a lot, like all the time. And in Hatha, you kind of have like breaks between the asana, and the asanas are like the moving poses when you're moving around, doing like this shit. Yeah, the asanas. So it could be a little bit fast paced. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on there. But yeah, but it's my favorite. I like it. It's kind of like dancing on a mat. It's a good way of expressing it. Moving on is Ashtanga. So Ashtanga means 8 limbs. That's pretty much where it comes from with the Sanskrit name. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic, but let's just try to keep it as basic as possible. What do I think about Ashtanga? I'm going to be honest. I hate Ashtanga. I absolutely fucking hate it. And I have a legitimate reason why. This is just my perspective. If you guys want to go down an Ashtanga path, I can help you. I will help you because that's what I got my yoga certificate in. Fucking Ashtanga. And this is a few reasons why I did. And I'm just being honest. You guys know I'm transparent. I'm not going to lie. I took this fucking Ashtanga class, certificate class in India, mainly because it was fucking affordable. And it was fucking affordable. It was fucking affordable. And I didn't know any better. Like, I legitimately didn't. I had a strong Vinyasa practice, and I was thinking like, oh yeah, Ashtanga, like, you know, it's flowy, like a Vinyasa, it'll be fine. Ashtanga is hard as fuck. It's super intense, super hard, and for my personality, I'm a creative person. I don't like repetitiveness. Like, repetitiveness in some areas, cool. Repetitiveness in my practice, I don't want that. And that's what Ashtanga is. It has a set rule and a set standard of poses. And, you know, you start off as basic, intermediate, expert, fucking whatever, yogi goddess shit. I personally feel like when I had I wouldn't even say strong. When I had a consistent Ashtanga practice, when I was studying in India, I was so aggressive. So for me, Ashtanga brought out a lot of masculinity out of me, which I think I do have a lot of masculine energy. but it was very masculine, very aggressive, and very negative. And I struggled a lot with that during my yoga teacher training. But I think for people who are used to having and enjoy rules, regulations, consistency, and repetitiveness, this is great for you. And there's no shade. Okay, slight shade. But like in Germany, people fucking love Ashtanga. And I can see why. So I think that this is just depending on your personality. If you do practice Ashtanga religiously, you're going to have a fucking killer ass body because the shit's hard as fuck. And I feel like when I meet people who are Ashtanga yogis, I can tell before they even tell me what type of yoga they practice. I'm like, this bitch, she fucking practices Ashtanga. Or this dude is a Ashtanga yogi, yeah, like hands down. Yes, I'm judging. Yes, because we all fucking judge. But, you know, when they do reveal that they're an Ashtanga yogi, I'm just like, oh yeah, cool, cool. You know, I don't really want to like judge them to their face, but I'm fucking judging. But with that said, because I do like a lot of elements from Ashtanga, like all of the arm balances, handstands, all this fun stuff is actually from Ashtanga. So I do use Ashtanga in my own personal practice. However, my classes are more so a Hatha mix with Vinyassa with Ashtanga. So my classes are challenging. And my style also, if you can see, it's not like an easy practice that's like I'm just skipping down, like I'm sweating, I'm like I'm breathing, but I'm also really enjoying myself. And that's why I have the Hatha and Vinyassa fused together. I love alming, I love chanting, I love breathing, I'm meditating. Not that I'm able to meditate all the time, but when I'm in a good space and like it's going in this direction, I actually do enjoy that I'm able to meditate. But that's just what works for me. So not saying that Ashtanga can't be broken up. To be honest, all of these different styles of yoga can be broken up. But anyways, moving the fuck on is Bikram. I hate Bikram. I've tried it a few times. It's not healthy, and I'm not saying this as my personal opinion. I'm saying this because my teachers in India even said it's not healthy. And I'm going to tell you why. Bikram is like a form of yoga that it's done like in a hot ass room that's like super fucking overheated. And the issue with this is that you're able to injure yourself more easily because you're hot. So of course you feel more stretchy, beep, beep, beep. And then if you live in like a normal climate where it's like has seasons, you know, like winter, fall, blah, 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 you walk outside and it's like fucking freezing. Or you walk outside and it's dramatically cooler than in the yoga studio. And this is where a lot of the injuries happen. This is one of the yoga practices that has the most injuries, period. Besides Ashtanga. Yeah. I'm not really going to go much on Bikram. I'm not going to promote Bikram. If this is something that you want to do, that's great. I'm going to move on. Okay, so another form of yoga is Iyengar. I'm probably saying it wrong. Iyengar. Again, this is for perfectionists, so this is really popular in Germany. I'm definitely not one of these teachers. I don't teach this. I'm not into it. It revolves around precise like location. I feel like you can't relax in this particular practice. It is very beginner friendly. It's slow paced. I particularly don't like it. I'm gonna move on. Kundalini. So the other practices that I mentioned before are all moving with asanas, and with the asana means like the poses. Anywho, and so Kundalini yoga is more for like a spiritual side of yoga, so a lot of fucking umming. And it's supposed to be awakening your core energy and working up the chakras and all this good stuff. I consider myself hippy dippy. For me, this is just a little bit too extreme for me. Like, I don't think it's bad. I think it's a little bit overdone. Well, I would say in Western world, with Western people, all the Western Kundalini people I've met are just like, and if I think you're like a little bit, if it's just, you know, too much going on, it's saying a lot, because I'm pretty open to like weirdos. Because I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. Like, you're different and you're like doing your own thing. And like, but for me, it's just a little too much going on. But I think it's because they are really trying to reach samadhi, which is enlightenment. I personally believe not every person is designed or is capable of reaching enlightenment. That's just my own personal opinion, like, just hands down. Again, this whole video, yes, I'm generalizing stuff. That doesn't mean it's true, except for that Bikram. I'm going to stick to that, like, that's not my opinion, it's fucking facts. But yeah, so I think it takes a special person to be like a Kundalini practitioner. That's all I'm gonna say. It's like hippy dippy times 50 kabillion. It's a lot going on there. And the last yoga practice that I will talk about is Yin Yoga. And this is the class I started out in. It's a little hippy dippy, but I like it because you hold poses for a really long time. Sometimes it can be painful, especially if you're like folded up or you're like in Warrior 2 for like ever. So it's very endurance, like training and like endurance mindfulness, because you have a lot to think about when you're in Warrior 2. It feels like 5 minutes. Maybe you're only in there for like, you know, what, 1 minute, but it's a long time. So I really like Yin Yoga. I started yoga with Yin Yoga, and I started yoga because I had some crazy anxiety, which I still have today, and I was dealing with major depression, which I still battle with today. And I think Yin Yoga is great. I think everybody should try Yin Yoga class, and maybe they will chill the fuck out. However, it is a little bit hippy dippy. But you got to take one for the team. I think the hippy dippiness in this type of practice it's worth it. All right, let's speed this shit up. Now, what type of yoga mats are good to start with? I'm gonna keep that simple. I'm gonna go ahead and put some links down in the description that you can click on it and just read the descriptions in there of like thinner mats, thicker mats, and what's good for a beginner. You do not need to be buying an expensive ass yoga mat. However, I digress, because I like an expensive ass cute yoga mat, but it's not necessary. And they're a bit overpriced. So if you can go to like TJ Maxx, or TK Maxx, which is in Europe. By the way, Europeans, TK Maxx is from America, and in America it is called TJ Maxx, so it is an American brand. But you guys probably didn't know that, but now you do. That's a really good place. I feel like people in both parts of the world where most of my followers are can go get a mat. Other American stores, Ross is great. I named Marshalls because these places kind of have like brands, but for discount prices. So you'll get like a decent mat. Also too, try to look for mats maybe that encourage or say they're like non-slip, things like that. If you're a sweaty person, I'm extremely sweaty, so I need that extra help. Moving on. Do you need special yoga clothes to practice? No, the fuck you don't. However, cute yoga classes are always fun and encouraging. So if you do want to invest in some cute yoga clothes, I would say use that as like motivation, or kind of like if you do this, you can do this. If you buy these freaking overpriced clothes, you have to go to these amount of practices, or you have to do these amount of practices in this amount of time. That's the advice I would give you. Other than that, I wouldn't encourage to buy overpriced yoga clothes. I would even I would even suggest maybe buying like used yoga stuff. It just doesn't really make any sense unless you're trying to support a cause. But even like these big corporations like Lululemon is shit. So I would definitely research some of the companies. Yeah, I have a ton of yoga clothes that I need to get rid of, and they will be reasonably priced, and some are a little overpriced because I paid too much money for them. But I will also link that in the description box below. But no, you don't need fancy yoga clothes to do yoga. The only thing I would suggest is not wearing baggy clothes. Only because it's going to limit your movement. Unless you're doing Kundalini and you want to fucking yeah, then it don't matter what you wear. You can be naked. So, yeah, I guess that's all for the chatty McChatterson part of this part of the video. So we're gonna go ahead and do some yoga. All right, guys. Scheiße.